The ride was supposed to stop 30 seconds ago, but it didn't. The safety bar stayed locked against my chest as the car climbed the track again, and again, and again. The lights below flickered. The laughter on the speakers looped, not laughing with us, laughing at us. I looked to my left. The seat next to me was empty. No restraint, no body, just a smear of something dark where someone had been sitting moments before. A voice crackled over the park speakers. Calm, cheerful, wrong. Attention, guest. You have already exited the park. My stomach dropped. The ride lurched forward. The music slowed until each note dragged like it was being pulled through mud. That's when I realized the truth. This place doesn't trap you the first time. It waits, and I had already used my one chance to leave. Let me tell you how I found out. Welcome to Nightmare Junction, where some places don't close. They wait. If you're listening to this late at night, you might want to keep your eyes open, because the story you're about to hear is about a place that gives you exactly one chance to leave, and if you waste it, it never lets you go again. I found the park by accident. I wasn't looking for it. I had taken a late-night drive to clear my head. One of those nights where sleep feels impossible and the road feels quieter than your thoughts. That's when I saw the lights. Bright, colorful, alive. Way too alive for something that was supposed to be closed. A massive sign loomed ahead, letters buzzing softly in the dark. River Glen, Amusement Park. Open after dark. I slowed down. I knew this place, or at least I thought I did. River Glen had shut down years ago. Fires, accidents, lawsuits, the kind of stories people stopped telling out loud. And yet, here it was, lights on, rides moving, music drifting through the night air. The parking lot wasn't empty, but it wasn't full either. Just a handful of cars scattered around like they'd been left there in a hurry. I sat in my car for a long moment. Every instinct told me to keep driving, but curiosity has a way of sounding like confidence. So I parked. As soon as I stepped out, the air changed. Thick, sweet, like popcorn mixed with ozone. The gates were open. No chains, no guards. Just a single ticket booth glowing softly near the entrance. And taped to the glass was a handwritten sign. First-time guests only. I should have left right then, but instead, I walked inside. The ticket booth window slid open on its own. No one was inside, but a stack of tickets rested neatly on the counter. Plain white. No price, no barcode, just numbers. I reached for one, and the music stopped. Every ride froze mid-motion. The Ferris wheel creaked. The carousel horses hung in the air like they'd been yanked by invisible strings. A speaker above the booth crackled to life. "Welcome, guest." The voice was smooth, pleasant, almost kind. "Before entry, you must review the rules." A laminated sheet slid out from a slot beneath the counter. I picked it up. The paper was warm. The rules were printed in clean black letters. River Glen Amusement Park. After dark rules. 1. You may ride any attraction. 2. Do not remove safety restraints. 3. Do not speak to the mascots. 4. Do not enter restricted areas. 5. Leave before the final bell. 6. You may exit the park once. My eyes lingered on the last rule. Once. I laughed nervously. "Yeah, okay," I muttered. The speaker clicked again. "By entering, you acknowledge the rules." The gates behind me slammed shut. The rides lurched back to life. Music resumed, and the ticket in my hand changed. The number faded, replaced by a single word, admitted. That's when I realized this place wasn't asking for permission. It was keeping score. I chose the carousel. I don't know why. Maybe because it felt harmless, familiar, the kind of ride you associate with childhood, not danger. The music sounded normal enough, cheerful, bright. I climbed onto a painted horse near the edge and pulled the safety bar down. It clicked into place with a solid, reassuring snap. The ride started slowly. The lights spun into streaks of color. For a moment, I relaxed. The park felt alive again. Not hostile, not wrong. Just old, worn, like it had been waiting a long time to be used. I noticed other riders now, people scattered across nearby attractions, silhouettes on the Ferris wheel, figures strapped into coaster seats, families frozen mid-laugh. None of them waved, none of them screamed. They just stared forward, smiling. The carousel made a full rotation, then another. I checked my watch. Time was moving again. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. "See?" I whispered to myself. "It's just a park." That's when I noticed the horse beneath me wasn't rising and falling anymore. It was breathing. Slow, steady, warm. And the music wasn't coming from the speakers. It was coming from inside my head. I tried to pull my hands away. The safety bar didn't budge. The horse beneath me twitched. Just once, like it felt me notice. "Okay," I whispered. "Okay, okay." That's when the mascot appeared. It stepped out from between the game booths without making a sound. Tall, oversized head. Painted smile stretched too wide to be friendly. Its eyes were black plastic domes, reflecting the lights of the carousel as it turned. Rule 3 flashed through my mind. Do not speak to the mascots. The carousel slowed. The music dragged. The mascot raised one gloved hand and pointed directly at me. I don't know why I did it. Fear, panic, instinct. But I spoke. "Hey!" I shouted. "I'm stuck." The park went silent. Every ride stopped. The lights cut out, except for the carousel. The mascot's head tilted. Then it shook slowly. No. Side to side. A speaker overhead crackled. Its voice was no longer pleasant. "You have broken a rule." The safety bar unlocked. But not to let me go. The horse beneath me screamed. Not a mechanical sound, a real one. And somewhere in the dark I heard the final bell. Ring early. The lights came back on slowly. Not all at once. Row by row. Like the park was opening its eyes. The mascot was gone. The carousel stood still beneath me. The horse silent now. Lifeless again. I slid off and backed away, my legs shaking. That's when the speakers came back on. But this time the voice wasn't addressing guest. It said my name, perfectly, clearly. The sound of it echoed across the park, bouncing off rides and booths and empty walkways. "Please proceed to the midway," the voice said. My chest tightened. I hadn't told anyone my name. I hadn't shown ID. I hadn't spoken it out loud. Cameras clicked on above me, old, rusted things I hadn't noticed before. Their lenses adjusted as I moved, tracking me no matter where I went. The screens near the prize booths flickered to life. Security footage, different angles, different times. I saw myself walking through the gate, getting on the carousel, speaking to the mascot, breaking the rule. Then the footage changed. It showed me leaving the park. Daylight, calm, safe. I stared at the screen. "That hasn't happened," I whispered. The voice answered immediately. "It has." A new message scrolled across every screen. "Exit confirmed. 1 of 1 used." My blood ran cold. That's when I remembered. Earlier that night, before the lights, before the rules, I had stepped back outside to grab my phone charger from the car, just for a second. I had crossed the gate and walked back in. The park hadn't stopped me. It had counted it. The voice returned, softer now, almost gentle. "Welcome back." The rides began to move again, faster this time, and every screen in the park showed the same thing. A blinking message. No further exits available. I ran. Not toward the rides, away from them, toward the gates. My footsteps echoed too loudly against the concrete, chased by the rising tempo of carnival music that no longer tried to sound cheerful. The exit sign glowed ahead. Red. Bright. Hope. I slammed into the gate and wrapped my hands around the bars. They were warm, pulsing, like muscle. I yanked harder. The bars flexed, then snapped back into place. Behind me, the rides accelerated. The Ferris wheel spun so fast its lights smeared into a burning halo. Roller coasters screamed as cars launched empty into the dark. Mascots poured out from between attractions, limping, jerking, some missing pieces, all of them turning their heads toward me in perfect unison. The speakers boomed. Please remain calm. Running violates park safety guidelines. I bolted down the midway. Games came alive as I passed, targets snapping shut, bells ringing, prizes shrieking as they fell from hooks and dragged themselves back up. The ground trembled. Paint peeled from walls. The park was folding inward, narrowing paths, forcing me where it wanted me to go, toward the biggest ride at the center of the park. The roller coaster. Its sign flickered above the entrance. Last ride of the night. I skidded to a stop. No, I whispered. The restraints on the front car clicked open, inviting. Behind me, footsteps closed in, slow, certain. I didn't get on because I wanted to. I got on because there was nowhere else left to run. The safety bar slammed down. Locked. The speaker crackled one last time. Thank you for returning. The ride began to climb. The coaster climbed higher than it should have. Higher than the park. Higher than the lights. Below me, River Glen stretched out like a living thing. Rides twisting, paths shifting, mascots standing perfectly still as they watched. The city beyond the park was gone. No roads, no skyline. Just darkness. The chain clicked its final notch. At the top, everything stopped. The speaker crackled one last time. You have reached your final attraction. The car tipped forward, but instead of falling, it slid sideways. Off the track. Reality bent. The park peeled open like a wound, and I saw what was underneath. Not machinery, not concrete. Faces, thousands of them, pressed together, frozen in painted smiles. Mascots, ride operators, guests, all fused into the bones of the park itself. Their mouths opened in unison, and they spoke my voice. You only get to leave once. The car slammed to a stop. The restraints released. I fell forward and hit the ground hard. Concrete, cold, still. Morning light burned my eyes. The park was quiet, abandoned, rusting, vines crawling up the gates. No music, no movement, no signs of life. Police lights flashed nearby. Someone was shouting. As they pulled me to my feet, I looked back at the entrance. The sign hung crooked and faded. River Glen, Amusement Park. Closed, permanently. They told me I was found alone, curled up near the roller coaster, screaming. Days passed, then weeks. I tried to move on, tried to forget, until the first night I heard it. Faint, distant carnival music coming from my phone. The screen lit up on its own. A notification. Welcome back. Exit used. And that's when I noticed the paint on my hands. White, cracking, peeling. And when I smiled, my face hurt. If you ever see an amusement park glowing after dark, with no cars, no crowds, and music that feels a little too happy, don't go in. Because the park doesn't need visitors anymore. It already has me, and it's still open. If you're still listening, then maybe you made it out. Or maybe the park just hasn't noticed you yet. If this story kept you watching, tap the like button. It lets me know you survived the ride. Leave a comment and tell me which rule you would have broken, or which one you never would. And subscribe to Nightmare Junction, because new stories arrive regularly, and some exits only work once. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next stop. Until then, read the rules, follow them carefully, and whatever you do, don't go back